Tea time.
Welcome, everybody!
Hello, Internet. This
Yeah.
is a surprising turn of events. I'm here.
Yeah, I'm not sure how to introduce this tea time.
Suggested this tea time.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's quite different. I'm not sure. Usually it's like, welcome, everybody. Souldin and the Grin Brothers here, and it's time for another tea time.
Well, here's how to introduce it. Shut up.
Okay, fair enough.
Your opinion doesn't matter.
Except you brought me on here instead of doing this tea time on your own, so
Well,
apparently it does.
I could have done it on my own, but I figured you'd have opinions, and so I thought... Well, I mean, one of my thoughts was originally we could just do 2 separate tea times and slap them together.
But you couldn't be bothered.
And then come together and speak opinions together and see how our opinions together change compared to our opinions individually, which is my idea if we talk about general sword and shield stuff. But whatever, who gives a damn? That's too much effort. I don't care enough.
So yeah, we haven't got any sort of teas to try out because Rafi didn't seem interested in that. He's just got a standard English breakfast. I haven't
had a cup of tea today, to be fair.
I do have heavy tea with me, but I've already had that before. So,
but yeah, so
that was in the
given
top
this
3
was
games,
all my
time,
idea,
so
then I might as well introduce the subject. So at the moment, it's a pretty hot subject.
Uploading this video in October.
Probably, knowing us. The Pokemon Sword and Shield DLC. To be exact...
The expansion pass, more specifically, I guess.
Yeah. It wasn't what I was going to say. To be more exact, there seems to be very much a debate on whether DLC is a good thing, especially in comparison to how they traditionally did it with having a third version.
And that's actually how they introduced it as. They literally outright stated, there is no third version, this is how we're doing it.
Yeah.
So it's not even something that people speculate on. It was introduced in the thing.
Yeah. And it's interesting to me because everyone's opinion is very polarised because it's the internet.
I don't remember them having Black and White 2 in that selection, though, just quickly. I didn't remember them having Black and White 2 when
because it's not really a third version, it's a sequel.
Yeah, but people have always treated it as the third version sort of thing.
Yeah.
Because it was in place of the third version. But it was the... but yet they still kept Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. Even though that changes the story in a lot of the events quite a bit.
So
I find that interesting that they still kept those.
Is Ultra Sun Ultra Moon is a retelling, which the third versions have always been, to a degree, a retelling of the story. Black and White 2 has a completely different plot.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of like saying, I can't think of any good games to use as an example.
The entire Zelda series.
Yeah.
It features the same staple of characters each time, and there's even the comment that it could basically literally just be the way how stories change in history depending on cultures and time, and how you get all these different interpretations. Yeah. The Legend of Zelda could have literally be a single legend interpreted differently is one fan theory.
It'd be like...
which I think was actually the one Miyamoto went with first before he was kind of like, oh, fine, I'll make a timeline.
Like how the new Final Fantasy VII Remake is going to be a very, very different game. Not story-wise, but gameplay-wise. But the remasters are literally the exact same game. I'd say that's probably the best way to explain what I'm thinking. But anyway, that's not really the main subject of this. I kind of want to just get my opinion, because Twitter is god-awful at expressing opinions. I want to get my opinion on DLC versus third versions, because I'm not sure, really. I see the benefits in both, which I guess is kind of the problem, because that's how I view most things.
Whereas I'm a lot more opinionated to one side.
You are very opinionated, yes.
But you said I don't have opinions on this.
Yeah, so shut up and sit there. So, I'm going to kind of get the basis of my opinion first. This is effectively a pros and cons videos for DLC versus third versions.
In Raph's part of it, I haven't really thought too much of that as a structured pro-con argument.
Because I do see the benefits to having DLC, because it is a hell of a lot cheaper. It's adding good post-game from what we can see. Good post-game. That's a con, so I'll get to that in a sec. Kind of falls into both. It's nice that adding the Pokemon back in and adding more Pokemon. It's interesting that they've gotten to a point where Game Freak have finally figured out how to add Pokemon.
Which was funny, given that was the thing they
Down!
Which is the funny thing, given they insisted continuously that they couldn't add new Pokemon.
Yeah, but because like it's always
Remember #Game Freak lied.
yeah, they've lied again. That's in the cons section though. Quite literally a con. Like it's always been since the dawn of Pokemon time. Game comes out, people data mine it, find out all the mythical Pokemon and every Pokemon that isn't out in the actual game yet. Nowadays, that's going to be a bit harder because Game Freak have finally discovered they can just add it in later. And the thing is,
Each time with a new Lily model for every area.
the content looks good. I can't really complain about that. Downsides to the DLC and upsides to the third version is that it's not fixing any of the issues with Sword and Shield. It's just adding stuff on top of it. And yes, that stuff may be fun and good, but it doesn't fix the fundamental flaws. And I know that's how you feel.
Yeah, I wanted to quickly add on to that. It's kind of a sad thought I realised. Maybe it's because we're used to, but isn't it kind of sad that we have an expectation of needing a third version out within like the next year or two to basically fix the first game? It's like Game Freak can't get it right first time. Well, you don't usually have an expectation of, say, you know, the new Mario or Zelda game or new Kirby game comes out. It's like, yeah, there are these problems that need fixing. We'll have an entirely new version of it released next year.
I don't think that's really the...
It feels like you know, I feel the real original mindset of the third version is, oh, now they can get a different distribution of Pokemon because, again, the whole aspect of the game was trading. But it now feels like more of a case that we think, what we expect that we have to wait till a third version to fix the problems. And to be fair, even in the times where having both the original versions isn't a huge leap over the newer version, it does feel in a sense that there are a lot of elements that do get significantly improved upon and fixed.
I think the thing is, no matter what game it is, there's always something that can be tweaked and improved upon it. And Game Freak have just been in this weird situation where the third version of the game kind of does that. Most games don't have that. But I don't think that was ever the intention with the original third versions. Not until, really, as weird as it is to say, Platinum. But even then, not really. Because, like, if you look at it, Yellow version's the third version to the original games. And that didn't per se improve things, that gave a different narrative.
Yeah, I kind of like that aspect in the same thing applies with Emerald.
Emerald version does the same and gives a different narrative.
Yellow and Emerald are different enough experiences to warrant getting
Crystal
the other games.
Version
didn't really fix the flaws of Golden Silver, but it did improve it in a bit of aspects. I'd honestly say, like, in the case of Red, Blue, Yellow, or Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, I can't immediately say, oh, you should get Emerald version or you should get Yellow version.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas in the case of Gold, Silver, Crystal, or Diamond, Pearl, Platinum,
you are
that is
better
a case
off
where
getting
it's
Crystal.
Get Crystal, get Platinum. I mean, of course, now it's get Heart Gold or Soul Silver.
But, like, even then, Crystal version still added kind of, like, they didn't change any narratives, but they added new narratives.
They added
and
Eugene and the Suicune. In fact, that was kind of all they added.
Platinum is just a flat-out better game than Diamond and Pearl, but I'm going to get back to Platinum in a sec. Yep. Don't you worry. Black 2, White 2 are just different games.
Yeah, they're sequels. So.
X and Y didn't have a third version.
Despite being
the one most in need of it.
Yeah, because there were so many little things they didn't reveal, and there was so much potential. I mean, okay, I think, honestly, looking back at it, Diamond and Pearl were probably the ones most in need of it, because Diamond and Pearl, for some odd reason, introduced a bunch of Pokemon and then forgot to actually have them in the game.
Diamond and Pearl had different flaws to X and Y.
Yeah.
They're both in need of it for different reasons. Then we have, after X and Y, Sun and Moon, where Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon just feel like arguably the complete version of Sun and Moon.
In a sense, it doesn't. So Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon don't feel like they
especially
improved, I'd say, but rather changed. They've improved in all aspects, but they've changed it to the point where it doesn't feel like, again, my biggest gripe is the loser mean thing. I can't honestly say on a story standpoint that Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon is better, and then there's lots of other little
I personally
oddities.
say it's better, having played through both of them completely. I would say Ultra Sun Ultra Moon is better, whilst Luzamine is weaker.
The Guzma thing feels a bit
They
weaker in
improved
turn.
on pretty much everything else, story-wise. Even Guzma, because they added the proper post.
Ultra Space feels completely unnecessary.
Ultra Space was completely unnecessary.
They've, with this additional focus, and that also kind of ruined the overall narrative. And
it's not a focus. It's just there.
Mm.
That's the issue. I would still say that it's better. The issue is the space between those games. Sun and Moon was a demo. It was just released, and then they went, oh yeah, here's the complete edition.
Ultra Sun and Moon, kind of in a sense, would have worked better as basically being the official remakes later down the line.
Yeah, they really would have. But yeah, so on the whole DLC versus third version thing, Platinum is going to be my main example. Because there's a lot of issues with Sword and... Like, don't get me wrong, I enjoyed Sword and Shield a lot, but it's flawed. That's an opinion we've both agreed
Sword and
with.
Shield is a fun game, but I wouldn't exactly say it's a stellar game. But that's the thing. You can have fun with games that aren't amazing. I mean, heck, in some cases, bad games like Sonic 06 are still some of the most fun you can have with a video game.
Sonic 06 is a lot of fun.
But it's not good.
No, it's a broken mess. But, Diamond and Pearl. Let's be honest here. 100% real. Those games suck.
Which is a shame because they are some of the most charming games. One of my personal favourite in the region, sort of saying the location setting, a lot of the designs overall.
Yeah.
There is so the touch features and the graphical leap, so many little things that I love about it.
Yeah.
But
Diamond and Pearl suck. When people think of Sinnoh, they think Platinum. You don't think Diamond and Pearl. Because Diamond and Pearl suck. Horribly. Now, Platinum added an awful lot into the game to fix it.
A good post-game, they added more aesthetic.
Post-game, we're ignoring. Post-game can be DLC. Ignore post-game. Cut that off. Saw it off with little...
Okay, so ignore the legendary stuff like the Durakai stuff, the stab trainers...
Ignore...
The additional stab trainers, the house...
The Heatran plot.
Yeah.
Which is kind of awkward, but ignore that.
I mean, that's kind of awkward because that concludes the Professor who's gotten added as a new character, as well as the Looker stuff.
So, we look at the base
game.
That
the post-game.
It added Looker, Cheron, added story to
That's why Sword and Shield isn't as good as it could be. There's no Looker in it.
That's true. It added story to the Chateau to make more events there. It, I believe, added more of your allies?
It added in the...
or was he just a post-game one?
The hot-headed guy is post-game, and so is the Gothic girl.
Yeah.
Those two are post-game, but I believe one of them may have still been in the original Diamond and Pearl. But
there was the girl in the cave that
she was in the original.
Pretty much ignored every time.
You could pretty much ignore, but she made more impact in the Platinum version via the post-game, in which case you could re-challenge.
It also improved the gym leaders and the Elite Four.
And the pacing and setting of the game.
Flint helped the pacing. It did add a bit more kind of unskippable scenes, which was a bit annoying, but they helped to improve upon the story. Giratina made a lot of sense, and it helped to round off Cyrus's plot a lot better.
Introduced Cyrus from the very get-go.
Yep, he was introduced early. It does a better job with its legendaries, especially Giratina, I think, is much more fitted than Palkia and Dialga.
The aesthetic was enhanced, trying to bring this whole it's a winter island sort of thing, with snow in the very first area. Sort of
and Flint wasn't a biggest joke in history as a Fire Elite Four.
No punny! The clear fire type! Sounds like he's playing a randomizer.
He really was.
And then forgot to turn on the setting.
And post-game, it added more of Cheron and the Heatran plot, actually letting you get Heatran.
All the stuff with Durakai.
The Durakai.
And Celeste.
They were events.
Oh.
They're event stuff. You can't get them naturally.
Sorry. I'm so used to reading up on that, so...
Yeah, but it's funny, so... it added the Battle Frontier stuff, which I can't remember if it was in Diamond and Pearl.
No, it wasn't in Diamond and Pearl. They made a little hint about Barry's father.
It actually added post-game and, helped with Barry's plot and daddy issues and stuff. But, all of that technically could have been added with DLC. Cheron and Looker would have been very poorly implemented, though, due to the fact that...
No build-up.
There would have been no build-up. whole DLC bit would have had to focus around them. Battle Frontier, yeah, you could slap that on easy enough, really.
But it wouldn't fix a lot of the base issues.
But Platinum also fixed
Pokemon distribution,
wild encounters and stuff like that.
A lot more difficult.
DLC would not fix that. It would not improve the difficulty of the base game. Flint would still be the biggest idiot in history.
Drifblim's a fire type, right?
Steelix with Sunny Day and Flamethrower.
To be fair, Raph, you did once destroy me in a Pokemon battle just by spamming Dragon Breath with Onix.
That's true, but I did Paralyze Storm you.
3 Pokemon.
I can't believe
Paralyzed
that worked.
3 of my Pokemon.
Such a dumb thing. But, yeah, no, it wouldn't fix any of the base issues. At all. And this is where we take a little bit of a side turn. Because Platinum, I think, is the perfect example of why a third version is good. And then you've got Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. Which, although I said I think it's better, it doesn't need to exist. At all. Sun and Moon were fine on their own. You could have improved How a lot. I honestly think if you just took How out of Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, put him in Sun and Moon, it'd be fine.
Yeah, but that was the one story issue that needed addressing.
Yeah, because that, like, your rival is just there and they don't do anything.
It's a good thing they got Hop right first time round in Sword and Shield. He's like the one character who doesn't need any focus on.
Well, it'd be nice if he was a bit less talkative, but honestly, I'm fine with Hop. I have no complaints. I'm not one of these sociopaths that want him dead.
For some reason.
Besides, we all lost to Hop because he gets to spend every day with Sonya. So really, yeah.
He's the real winner in this situation.
We lost pretty hard. Plus, he is stronger than Leon, but still doesn't understand that his team are stronger than Leon's entire team. And
honestly, he seems very relevant to a lot of people nowadays.
Yeah.
Like some of these big YouTubers, like, oh, I'm just not doing well enough, you know? And,
like,
meanwhile, they're sitting on 100,000 subscribers with wads of cash, you know?
I feel like this might be some sort of hidden bitter resentment from you.
No, not at all.
You're right, it's not hidden, it's very obvious. But that's not what we're talking about here, so shut up. Your opinions aren't valid. Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon changed a bunch of plot, and added the Ultra Space, Necrozoma plotline, and Rainbow Rocket, which is honestly the best part of it.
You just like it because Gahita's threatened to kill Lily.
Gahita's chokeslammed Lily, yes. It's hilarious, and I'll never forget that.
Like, the Pokemon battles, what?
It's funny as well because they're little chibis, but I like to imagine, like, you know, the opening to Black and White is all that beautiful art. I like to pretend that the scene would happen in that art style, and you just got Gahita's tackling this young girl to the floor.
Oh no, I just imagined it in
her.
the Pokemon Red and Blue, sort of black and white Game Boy graphics.
But yeah, all those things, Ultra Space and the Necrozoma plotline, along with our alien friends,
could have easily been DLC.
And Rainbow Rocket would have been far better off as DLC.
And then there's a literal case in Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire of Delta Emerald, which basically was treated as if it was DLC in the cartridge.
Yeah, but I mean, that's a bit weirder because that's not a third version or DLC. That is an expansion pack with built-in DLC. I guess you could kind of... The post-game to X and Y kind of felt like that to me.
Yeah.
Like, it felt... It sounds weird to say it didn't feel like post-game. It felt like added content. I don't know if that makes sense.
The stuff you wanted added to X and Y was the stuff during the game. You didn't really need anything added afterwards.
Every improvement to X... Yeah, DLC wouldn't fix X and Y at all. It would still be an enjoyable train wreck. Like, adding
the most bizarre pacing. Wow, we had some of the best pacing for the first 3 gyms possible. What can we do? Full steam ahead!
I mean, that's basically Sword and Shield summed up, isn't it? Oh, you've beaten the first 5 gyms?
No, but they space it out a little bit in that it's the first gym that takes forever to get to. Then second and third are done, and you blink and they're done. And then you take a while to get to the 4th gym, and then you just kind of plough through those.
Yeah. Literally, when it comes to Piers and Raihan's gym, because there's no puzzle in either of them, and that really...
Although I do like how Piers' gym is kind of presented kind of like a level in Streets of Rage.
I do like Piers' gym, to be fair, but Raihan's is Raihan in general is just a letdown, but I'm not going to get on that.
Yeah, well,
people really like him, and I want to punch him in the face.
Yeah,
he is attractive.
We'll focus on this DLC thing first, because we need to check
DLC would not fix X and Y's issues. Yes, you could add in a DLC for Tiano and Trevor and Shauna to help flesh out their characters, but it wouldn't help their character during the game.
Given Shauna's plotline, I'm surprised she hasn't popped up in another Pokemon game yet, actually.
You'd think. It wouldn't help to solve the fact that they're a joke in the actual game. Really, let's be honest.
Tiano was in the wrong game anyway. They took out the Pokemon dancing.
Yeah. It wouldn't fix the fact that your final fight is against Az, and his team is weaker than the champion that you just fought.
Who is the weakest champion in Pokemon?
Yeah, she really is. The whole Elite Four really is kind of a joke. Then again, I did have an age slash. Like, Vanilla's really upset at the moment. I don't know why. I might get some of my anti-stressant sprayer in a sec.
Yeah.
My dog's upset. I'm going to spray her.
It just going to remind you of that hose memes.
It's okay. It's got like lavender or something in it.
Yeah.
But anyway, keep getting sidetracked. I'm very bad at this. I don't have a script and I cannot write scripts. Like, it wouldn't change the fact that Az should have used Eternal Floette against you. The fact that
I was expecting to have Mega Mewtwo, given they hyped that up so much.
That's true. The fact that Eternal Floette is programmed in the game and has never been made accessible. And also, I believe, you know how they removed a bunch of moves from Sword and Shield? The signature move for Eternal Floette is still in there.
Effectively, they needed to do kind of... What they needed to do was obviously have a moment where you get to save the game afterwards, you know, and then say, there's this thing to go to. You've got a bit of time to go off and level up if need be, and then you have the Az battle, and he's actually proper level. Because the reason they obviously didn't have him higher leveled is that you didn't get a chance to save in between or train up. So if he was suddenly like rocking level 80s, you'd have been trained up to Damper.
Did that in Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. Rayquaza's level 60.
Yeah, but they also gave you the option to have, you know, Rayquaza.
Mega Rayquaza, yeah.
Mega Rayquaza against Deox, so...
And then Deoxys is suddenly 10 levels higher for no apparent reason.
And having Mega Rayquaza kind of makes everything a bit easier.
Mega Rayquaza is very stupid. But yeah, DLC wouldn't fix X and Y. And that's the problem with Sword and Shield. DLC is not going to fix its base issues.
It won't fix Chairman Rose. It won't fix the lack of involvement that Bede and Marnie get.
Won't fix the issues with Team Yell. Won't fix pacing issues. Won't fix the issue, the fact that people really like half the gym leaders and all the ones that they like are the ones that are completely irrelevant and have no actual character. Why do people like Nessa so much?
In the case of what we've seen, it won't fix the lack of a minor league, because instead we need to learn Leon's tutor.
No, I think that is the minor league.
But it's only one guy.
No, the gym leaders in that area.
We didn't see any sign of gym leaders, but okay.
That you did see gyms.
Really, yeah.
Yeah. There were big buildings with the gym logos on them. I hope they're gyms.
No, they're probably not. They don't set yourself up for disappointment.
They're wearing the gym uniform. Clara and the Psychic Avery.
Yeah, but they're not gym leaders.
They
comment they're training to become gym leaders, but they're not gym leaders.
Well, they're probably minor league gym leaders. So they're not real gym leaders. Yeah. They live on an uncharted island.
Quote, there's a reason why they're not gym leaders.
Quote unquote.
No one can
uncharted
get to them.
island. Basically, they're in Australia. We said we don't like you and shipped them off to an island. Deal with it yourselves. You got this weird deer thing looking after you. I know that's the wrong DLC, but I don't care.
To be fair, he's the most
somehow that
British legendary they've introduced in this game.
Somehow. They introduced a more British legendary in the form of Meltan.
Go watch our Battleborn videos. We'll probably be talking about the actual game itself in that.
I mean, this is probably going to upload before the Battleborn episodes where we talk about this. Look forward to that. Watch Battleborn. It's a train wreck. I hate it. Editing it is such a nightmare. How dare you exist,
Randy Pitchford?
It takes like an hour to render a single episode because I put pictures in it. The audacity of me. But yeah, basically, my point is, DLC works in some situations, but it doesn't fix the base issues with the game.
DLC works to extend a product, not to correct a product.
Yes, the stuff they're adding is good. I have no complaint with that. But
An expanded post-game was needed for those who enjoyed that thing.
The third version offered a chance to improve the basics of a game. We're not going to get that at the moment. I hope that when they do a quote-unquote remake of this game, it's a collection of all of the stuff.
Let's go Sword and Shield.
And they work to actually improve the basics of the game and integrate the DLC more naturally into it. The way it's structured, and I know this makes no sense, but it would make more sense for you to go to the Isles of Armor and the Isles of Armor first, then come back to mainland, do the gym challenge, beat up Leon because he deserves it, let's be honest.
Yeah.
And then go to the Crown Tundra. From what I can gather from the plots, that would make more sense.
Okay.
But yeah, that's basically all I really wanted to say.
I did want to add in a good thing towards the end about something that makes no sense regarding DLC, or in kind of a sense post-game to me. I can understand post-game for a lot of people, but it's mainly geared through the competitive community or stuff like the Battle Frontier, where your levels don't really matter at that point, because they've even set to level 50. Because the one thing I realised is, with exception to Black and White, very few Pokemon games, and unless you were going about catching legendaries, very few Pokemon games are geared for the idea of post-game as a thing, because there's no real point in leveling a Pokemon past level 60 in most cases.
No, not really.
Because you don't learn new moves. Black and White was the only game which gave Pokemon, such as Larvesta and the Hydreigon line, reasons to actually bother leveling up past level 50,
a lot
60.
of Pokemon that didn't evolve to level 50.
Yeah, Black and White actually thought, hey, let's give, the whole thing of Pokemon is evolution, and it's interesting seeing your Pokemon learn new moves and such and evolve, but the moment they're fully complete like that, and it loses that excitement. So post game, when you're trying to level yourself up, doesn't really make much sense to me unless Pokemon was geared to actually learn new stuff past that point.
Yeah.
The only ones who do learn that stuff are pretty much just the legendaries.
Yep.
So I've always kind of been curious as to why there's, aside from Battle Frontier, which to me works as the best post game on the basis that it is geared towards, you've already leveled your Pokemon up, you don't have to worry about leveling anymore.
Yeah. To
me, it doesn't make much sense having effectively story content post-game unless Pokemon were to be redesigned to take that into account. Yeah. By not cramming all the cool moves early on.
I'm interested to see how the DLC works, because depending on the level, I may end up not using my original team for it, and just catch new Pokemon to go through the Isles of Armor.
Oh, can you imagine? Avery and Clara are sort of like a pop-up. Also, Avery's the better one here. I'm not sure why the internet's going crazy over Clara instead.
It's a woman.
But you thought Avery was a woman too, though.
I did think Avery was a woman, and I'm not alone.
And then you sort of starts off, and it's like you're going to be my rival since I can level 15, Slowpoke.
The Slowpoke.
I'm the I'll train you to become champion, says Mustard. I am the champion.
The Wedgehurst.
I'll train you to become champion.
The Wedgehurst Slowpoke is level 12.
Wow.
So it'll be interesting. And on that note, two last little things. Firstly, the competitive scene is okay. People have figured out there is most likely going to be a counter, at least in doubles, for Lando T.
Okay.
Galarian Weezing and Regigigas.
Fair enough. Okay, and two?
Two, if you do not buff the Dynamax computer allies, I am going to find where you live, Miyamoto. I know it's not Miyamoto's fault. But
You're thinking of Masuda.
I'm going to hold Miyamoto hostage.
You're thinking of Masuda.
Listen, I don't care. It's their fault for both having names that begin with the letter M. I'll drag both of them. Miyamoto, to be fair, I've got gripes with him as well, with Smash Brothers.
He doesn't have anything to do with Smash Bros. Either!
Shut up.
You think of Sakurai!
Look, they're all the same to me there.
He doesn't even begin with an M! Actually, wait, no, Masahiro Sakurai.
Miyamoto
he doesn't begin with an M, but... Actually, no, technically that's his.
What does Miyamoto work on now, then?
He's mostly the producer over... Well, he's mostly in a producer role, but he oversees basically all the Mario and Zelda stuff primarily, and then he works on individual stuff. Like, he, for some reason, made Pikmin 4, I believe, and there's this kind of like, when are you going to release it? It's almost made. Where is it?
Because, like, part of my issue is when I think of Nintendo, Miyamoto.
He's the creative director. Creative overseer.
When I think of Nintendo products, Miyamoto is literally just the only name that comes to my brain.
To switch things, to my knowledge, he's mostly just been in the hiring process of new people working on, like, Breath of the Wild and Super Mario Odyssey.
Okay.
And making sure the new...
So he's taken a significant step back.
Yeah, he oversaw the new Super Mario Bros. U, making sure it was new people who got to work on that to do the game. Yeah. But otherwise, he mostly works on, like... He worked on Star Fox Zero, Pikmin 3, and, otherwise it's mostly overseeing stuff.
Would it even be worth getting Masuda? Masuda technically doesn't work on the game.
And they still keep flaunting him, so...
Either way, I'm going to find someone in, like, Nintendo's vague area, hold them hostage or strangle them or something. Just please fix them. They're so bad.
Hostage isn't very good if you strangle them to death.
I'm not paying money for an online membership just because my AI allies are just the worst thing history has given me.
That's another thing that DLC won't fix.
The AI allies. It better. They can fix that. Anyway, we've rambled way too long. Yeah. I blame you. Shut up. Your opinion doesn't count. And thank you for listening, I guess.
Cheerio, feel free to tell us your feelings on the Pokemon DLC version situation down below.
Yeah, sure, what he said. Like, comment, and subscribe as well. We occasionally make content. We make it quite often.